Well, my first trip to New York was in the mid-'60s, and we recorded there in New York City. It was an incredible time to be there. Those of you music freaks will, as I explained this to you, we went to Scepter Studios in New York City, hanging around there, trying to get his songs recorded. It was Burt Bacharach, Hal David, Nick Ashwood, and Valerie Simpson, who are like stalwarts in songwriting. So they were just kids just out of high school then plugging their songs. This is at Scepter Records, and we had an engineer who was blind. And he actually walked home and he took a train and a subway home every night, but he had to leave at about 10 o'clock at night. And then in the morning, because he lived outside of town, and in the morning he took the 8:15 back into the city. This being kind of the late 60s, everybody was, in a band you dressed like the Beatles, and if you're a producer engineer you tried to dress like George Martin, so he wore a white collar and a tie and a tweed jacket with those patches, you know, like a real British looking guy. Even though he was blind, right? He knew that was the thing. So I was very curious. I walked with him, his name was Stanley Greenberg. I walked with him to the New York Grand Central Station. He took the train home in the morning. I went to meet him to see, like, how does this guy get around, the White King? Because in the subway there's like all kind of people and stuff. But I saw the 8:15 come into the city and all the girls trying to look pretty and all that stuff. The Beatles had a song called White Collar Work, a song called Paperback Writer, which was a great song. Sir, Madam, won't you read my book? And it was the day in the life of a guy who wrote paperback novels. And I wanted to write a song about this engineer, Stanley Greenberg, and because he wore a white collar and a tie, I called this song White Collar Worker. And I wrote it, and remember this is copying Paperback Writer as my template, because most songs have to have a template. So you might recognize part of this, but there's other parts that will make you laugh. They get up in the morning from the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 into the city. So whistle up above, the people pushing, people shoving, and the girls who try to look pretty. And if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9 and start your slaving job to get your pay. If you ever get annoyed, look at me, I'm self-employed, and I love to work at nothing all day. And then it went, white collar worker, just like paperback writer. So I'm very excited over this song. I played for Burton Cummings and he goes, gag me with the drumstick. We're not going to do this, we're going to get sued by the Beatles. The verses are very good, they're kind of Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good, but you got to get rid of this white collar worker thing in the middle. So I kept pitching that song for every Guess Who album, and until I changed it, and you know when you first write a song, you love it. It's like when you have a baby, you know, everyone else is like gagging, and it's this baby beautiful kind of thing. So I'm in love with the song, and so it doesn't really change, and I pitch it for every Guess Who album, and it doesn't get recorded. I then start to pitch it to the guys in BTO saying, can we record this song? And it's change that part, and the rest of the song's pretty good. I couldn't think of any way to change the song. It was just embedded in my mind and I liked it so much. Early BTO we would have to play, like most bands in starting anywhere, 6 nights a week, 5 hours a night in a rock and roll club, and you're learning to play and groove and get the people dancing, and you learn what music works and what doesn't work. So we're doing like 6 nights a week. Fred Turner was the real main lead singer in Bachman TCOB-story. He's the guy with the Harley Davidson voice. And I didn't really sing that much, I played the guitar. And the very last night, the Saturday night, he came and said, this is at the last set, so it's like right now we're getting set for the last set to start about 11. He says, I can't sing anymore. You gotta sing the last set. I had to sing the last set. He lost his voice. He'd been screaming like 40 hours that week and couldn't sing. So I'm thinking, how am I going to do this last set? I really can't sing any great songs. I'll try a Dylan song. Now I'm trying to get people dancing. This is the last set Saturday night in a club, a rock and roll club, and the club does exist for one reason, to sell drinks. They turn up the heat, they give you free popcorn, you get thirsty, you buy drinks, you dance, you sweat, you buy drinks. The first song of the set I go, she's got everything she needs, she's an audience, she knows. No one is dancing. The club owners are looking and they're going like this, and it's getting near closing time. At the time there was a song on the radio by Santana called Oyo Como Va. And I figured, I'll get into Oyo Como Va. I don't know any Spanish, but my mother's Ukrainian. Who in Vancouver knows Spanish, as long as I'm not singing in English, right? So we start doing this song. We're all singing, Oil como va, pierogies, Oil como va, Polopchi, and then I play so I'm doing that, and meanwhile my mind is thinking, yeah, the other half of my mind is going, what are you going to do next? Because everybody's dancing, and once they're dancing, you got to keep them dancing, right? Because they sit down, it's the whole battle over to get them up again. So part of me is saying, this is your chance for white-collar workers. The band is your captive. They can't say no. But on the way to the gig that night, a guy was on the radio I knew from Winnipeg, Daryl Burlingham. He was on the air in Toronto and in Vancouver as Daryl B. And he's on the air, and this is Daryl B on C-Fun Radio, and we're taking care of business. And I thought, wow, what a great song title, Taking Care of Business. So, and when you hear a title like that, and you get a guitar, you have to write it down or you'll forget it. Like, the great dream you had last night, you woke up, and if you don't write it down, you forget it. It dissipates. So I look for my songwriting kit, which I usually keep in my car, which is a smashed crayon and McDonald's napkin, to write down my songwriting ideas. And I write down taking care of business, taking care of business, taking care of business. And it goes, I remember this, and it goes right next to my favorite things on my heart, a little shelf near my heart with, right next to white collar worker. And not knowing that when I get to the gig that night, Fred Turner's gonna say, I can't sing anymore. So right in the middle of Oil Como Va, right at the end, I turn around and I say to the band, 3 chords. You remember all those icky chords? I can't do that, I can't tell them the chords. So I've got to lower it to 3 chords. You're like Louie Louie, okay? I turn around and say to the band, 3 chords follow me. They say, what are you doing? And I say, white collar worker, gag me. But it's different, follow me in the hook. So I do the same verses, lyrics and verse, but I just kind of bend the notes a little and it comes out. Same verse. I went, taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's alright, taking care of business and working overtime. Now the story keeps going. This is amazing to me, this story, right? So 2 weeks later we go to record this song and I write out the lyrics for Fred Turner, who is our lead singer. He says, I'm not singing this song. You've been singing it for 2 weeks in the club. Why don't you sing it? You give me a rest on stage by doing one of our own songs instead of the Oil Como Va pierogi song or Bad Bob Dylan. So I sing the song once. I just think it's a throwaway song. I sing it one time. It speeds up and slows down. It's slightly out of tune. We don't care. It's an album cut. And while we're finishing and listening to the song being played back, there's a knock at the door of the studio. This was recorded in Minneapolis, a studio called K-Smith Studios. There's a knock at the door, I open the door, and there's a big guy there, which is about 6'4", and he's got a frizzy beard and frizzy hair, and he's wearing an army suit and an army hat, and he's got about 6 pizzas. Did you guys order the pizza? And I said, no, try down the hall. And down the hall, Steve Miller was recording his Fly Like an Eagle album. And War was recording the Why Can't We Be Friends album, and PTO doing our album. So he goes down and delivers the pizza, and we're listening to the playback of Taking Care of Business again. There's a knock at the door. We open it. The same guy's thing. I said, yes, can I help you? And he says, I'm really not just a pizza delivery guy, I'm really a piano player. I deliver pizza at the end of the month when I can't pay my rent. And I've been listening to this song through the door. Can I play piano? And I say, well, who are you? I want to get Little Richard, he's busy. I want to get Elton John, he's busy. We got to finish the song. It's 2 in the morning, it's time to go home. He says, please give me a shot, give me a shot. So I say, okay, you have 1 chance. Now normally when you're going to record a piano, you get a tuner in, you tunes the piano, you put mics on it, you get a thing. I opened the piano, threw in a mic, slammed the lid, and I said, play your take, we all went home, never even listened to it back. Came in the next day, Charlie flew in, the head of the label, the present to hear our album.